Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Printing's Alive, the podcast with me, your host, Warren Bew. I changed it up a little. Today we have a new guest, always a new guest. We have Charity Gibson. How you doing, Charity?
Good. How are you?
I am great today. We are recording on a Friday, so what could be bad, right? The podcast, we see it on a Tuesday, but Fridays are good.
We love Fridays.
Love Fridays. So today we are here to talk a little bit about promo, actually mainly talk about promo. We have, I'm just going to say the queen of promo. She's been at it for 25 years. She has a podcast, The Badass Women of Promo, and you are working at Bold Promo.
Yes.
Correct?
100%. That's correct. Yes.
That's
Bold is
a lot of promo.
A lot of promo, but Bold actually is on-demand printing and contract decorating also. So my first time crossing, this is one company that crosses the line on both sides, which is really cool. So pretty unique.
So take a few minutes and just tell us whatever you want to tell us about you and all the different things that you touch on.
Okay. Well, that could go on forever, so I'll try and keep it as short as I know how to do it. It's funny because I say I run my mouth and just hope it burns more calories. It doesn't, but it should. So I've been in promo 25 years. I actually started out as a promotional products distributor after answering an ad in the newspaper. So that tells you back in the prehistoric times, but thank you, print, for getting me my job in promo. I left when I had my daughter, and funny enough, I started my own photography company because the guy that I was working with, he's like, "You're brilliant and you're going to do great things one day, but it's not going to be in promotional products." 5 years later, he came to a mixer that I was at and asked me to buy his company. I thought that was pretty funny. So it did not end up happening, but that was like, I was like, okay, score kind of a thing. He said he was really proud of me. And like, okay, well, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to digress on that one, but moved into the supplier side after taking over social media for about 12 different companies, and spent time on the supplier side at Peerless Umbrella doing umbrellas and outdoor umbrellas, games, etc. Left that after nearly a decade to be the chief marketing officer of the third largest promotional products distributor in the world. And in December of 2024, decided the corporate life is not for me, and took 2025 to figure out what Barbie I was going to be when I grew up. So I chose marketing consultant Barbie, working with different customers in the promotional products industry as a fractional CMO, and a couple customers outside. I also sell whiskey, and decided to become a luxury travel agent. And I work as the director of strategic accounts for Bold Promo, selling sunglasses, contract decorating, hard goods, soft goods, and online stores. So multifaceted human being. And if that's not enough, I actually just started a company with our friend in print, Jay Bissell. And we are Whisper, a promotional products print and promotional products technology platform helping people do social media. So that's a mouthful. It's a lot, but welcome to the Neurodivergent Kids Club, where we can do many things faster with more energy.
Wow. My brain's a little slow just keeping track of just all the things that you said.
Same.
But I could relate, actually, because I've got the Print Whisper thing going on. I got the podcast thing going on. I help stick to a label company with their marketing. I'm helping Nova Glue sell a brand new line of equipment that nobody has out on the market to packaging display people. I'm doing some keynotes. So yeah, first of all, I think doing all that just keeps you running and keeps your brain alive as opposed to sleeping. So
Yeah.
Sometimes it might seem like a lot, but at the end of the day, I think I'm pretty happy. And who wants to do the same thing every day, all day?
Every single day. 100%. Well, at the end of the day, like exactly it. If you're a promotional products or a print person, you're like, I do marketing for company A, company B, company C, just because you're printing shirts for all those people. So really, at the end of the day, I'm a marketing consultant and a travel agent. And I basically am a marketing consultant to pay for travel, and I'm a travel agent to get it at a discount. That's all it is. I'm just life hacking over here. It's fine.
Well, listen, I've got the printwhisper.shop to sell t-shirts and hoodies, and truth be told, when that thing's rolling and I sell globally, I want to use it to be able to travel, fish all over, and write it off through the business because I'm doing good things. Oops, I hope the government's not listening to me, but so be it, right? Life is life. So
100%.
promo. Yeah. So promo. I come from the print world, actual just printing on paper, marketing, packaging, labeling, direct mail, stuff like that. There's always been separation of the two. I remember when I started in print, we would call up the lady around the corner that we used, and I don't care what anyone no one should take this the wrong way, but I think it was a lot of women in the beginning pushing promo, right?
Yeah.
From my experience, kind of like
Yeah.
a little bit like Tupperware. But we would call up the person, and they would come in, and we'd buy our stuff from them, and we would order. We never thought about reselling to our customers. It was just for our own stuff. And then it was a bunch of years later when I decided, first of all, I decided looking around that, wow, maybe we should be selling some of the stuff because there's a need.
Yeah.
And I looked up ASI, but if you want the real reason I got involved in promo, it was selfish. I wanted a Toomey briefcase. It was like $1,200. And
Yeah.
then I figured out if you join ASI and you're a promo company, you get to call up all these vendors, and you're not getting it for free, but you're getting it at wholesale. So I signed up. I paid the $900 for the yearly membership. I got my Toomey briefcase for $600, and I was thrilled. And then I actually thought, oh, wow, why don't I just go order some stuff for the company? And with the money that I saved ordering it direct, covered the whole membership thing. But then I was like, whoa, this is really easy. Why are we not sending this out to our customers? Right? Because everything else that we did between the mailing and the large format, blah, blah, we really were a one stop. And I always thought like a marketing person, even though I have no training in marketing, it just came about. But back, I think we were one of the first people to use the one-stop shop all under one roof. And what we used to say was, if you do all your stuff with us, we could manage your brand. We could manage your identity. We could work the hardest items first to get you the colors that you needed for your product, and then go, the easy stuff. No, we're not going to be the cheapest, but back then your brand was, today the word brand today is just used flippantly. To
Yeah.
me back then, brand was Nike, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, whatever. And today they're just higher brands. But it was like the maintaining of your brand, making it easy, one stop, or go find 5 suppliers and good luck when you get to the show and open your boxes and nothing matches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we had salespeople who were like, well, there's not enough in it. And I'm like, they don't get it. Right?
Yeah, it's a volume game or it's a custom game. But it's so funny that you say that, because as a promo person, like I grew up obviously in merch, and print terrified me. Like to me, like you said, promo is easy. I know a lot of people are probably going to hear that and be like, "Oh, promo's not easy." And like promo's really, at the end of the day, is very easy. It's, find the product that makes sense, not the one that's always most intuitive. You're not necessarily going to get golf items for a golf tournament if you want to stand out. But at the end of the day, if that's all you do is get golf items for a golf tournament, you get the logo that your customer gives you and find the person that's going to sell the golf ball, and then just act as the intermediary between the two. But I don't have to know like printer profile settings. I don't have to know about bleeds. I don't have to know about any of that. So for me, I got into print much later on in life. I think it was probably 10 years ago when I started doing direct mail and flyers and business cards and all of that. Maybe 15 years ago. I don't know. 2010, 16 years ago. Holy bananas. Anyway, time flies when you're having fun. But that to me, like, promo is easy. And it's so cool when print people have all of the networking and all of the customers already kind of built in. It's a natural transition. But yeah, for somebody looking at a print, you're like looking at print versus promo, you're like, a 250 piece pen order is going to make me $13. I'm really not in the mood for that. So somebody told me early on, you can chase elephants or you can chase rabbits, but oftentimes the amount of energy you put into it is the same. One feeds you for a day and one feeds you for a month. So it's knowing where to hunt, right?
Yeah. So like, when you say, a $13 order, I was never, if you don't show $1 pens, you're not going to make 13 cents on a pen. If you show $4 pens and you mark it up properly, you're going to make $1 a pen. So 200 pens, 200 mugs, 200 of this and that, all of a sudden there's a few $1,000s of profit, right? And then the repeat stuff that comes. But it's not only about, you see a lot of print salespeople, we'll call them legends of their own mind or legacy people. They didn't figure out that it's part of the relationship building. So I'm happy to take a nice 200 pen order more than I want anyone to call me for stinking business cards. Right? Because it's really, if you look at dollar for dollar, there's more money in it. But what you're doing with the for me, what I was used to think was with the promo, you're just adding value to your customer. You're saving them time. I always believe that you curate good stuff that you show. So in the beginning, I wouldn't walk into customers or even tell them that there was catalogs available to look through because there's too many. We would just have, say, 10 items that we thought were pretty cool, go to a better, higher quality. I also like to tell people when you buy shitty pens and you give them out, people think your company's shit.
It's
Right?
true. Yeah.
It's
Well,
all.
yeah, it's 100% reflection of your brand on your product. And we kind of like skipped 15 chapters getting to this, but I think my favorite thing about the promotional products industry is the tools that we have in our toolbox to be unforgettable. And I have said this in the promotional products industry time and time and time again, but I'm newer to the print side of things, so maybe you guys haven't heard it over here yet. But we have a guy and a legend, absolutely, who recently retired. But one of the things that he said in a lot of his keynotes, and I just never forgot them, was it's not our client's job to remember us, it's our job to be unforgettable. And in the promotional products industry, sometimes it can be really easy to get a one color logo on a red product and expect it to be differentiating. But if you're going to a trade show and everybody's giving out, red stress balls with a white imprint, that's not helping you be differentiated at all. And promotional products aren't as novel as they used to be either. Now that we have so much more available to us, and thank goodness to the innovations in the print side of the industry, the full color printing that we have, capable to be able to do a 360-degree imprint on drinkware, we can actually get more creative with things. I think my battle cry in the promotions product side of the industry, people are like, you're abrasive. I'm like, I don't care, because nobody cares about your logo. I don't want your logo on the side of my business card. I don't want your yellow page ad on my mouse pad. I
Oh my
want
God.
products that people are going to fit into their everyday life. Like, we don't want to put logos nobody cares about on products people won't use. And to me, it's just that simple, right? It's like, my house is curated. I have I'm beige. My curtains are beige. My whole house is this like tropical, like oasis kind of a thing. And I'm not going to put your like plant with your giant logo on my coffee table, or your coasters. I picked these up the other day and I'm using them because they're wood and you can barely see the imprint. But like, I really don't want your logo on my house things. And so I'm like, my biggest thing is fit in with people's lives. If you wouldn't use it yourself, if you wouldn't pick it up from the trade show, bring it in your suitcase, put it in your house, your car, or your office, then do not produce it for somebody else and think that they're going to love it or that they're going to remember you. Like, that to me is just asinine behavior. It's like, no, like, if I wouldn't use the pen, I'm not going to print it to give it to somebody else. If I wouldn't use the mouse pad, I wouldn't print it to give it to somebody else. Like, it's just common sense, but it eludes people so much. And it was the same thing I said earlier. I don't know if you caught it, but I was like, golf products for the golf tournament. Somebody says, we're having a golf tournament and I need products. Immediately people go to golf balls, golf tees, hats, visors, whatever. And I'm like, no, like, you're on the golf course a couple hours a day, but you're in your car, you're in your house, you're in your office 6-7 days a week sometimes. Print them something that's not for the golf course, because all 9 of your competitors are going to do the golf course crap, and you can be the one person that does something different. You're the one that they're going to remember, that they're going to use every day, that they're going to see. Anyway, so it's like thinking the same differently. It's common sense, it's intuitive to me, but it's like the fact that you're over here like, oh, I'm like, people just
No,
don't think that. They're like, I just need another 40-cent something or other to give out at my trade show booth. And I'm like, no, you don't.
So, oh my God. Yeah, I am. I'm like biting my tongue and I have holes because I 1,000,000% agree with you. And I've been saying that for forever, in the sense that, like, so, this is from Stick To's water bottles from my brother's company. Something like this, I'm totally cool with. It's their name is
Looks cool.
big,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful quality bottle. It keeps the hot or cold. When I do my t-shirts, I ordered a bunch of t-shirts when I was building the site. I picked one quality t-shirt for everything. I picked one quality sweatshirt for everything. I picked the only 2 items that I would personally wear every single day. If I wouldn't wear it, I am not putting it up in my store. Now, if I had a retail store, I might go bankrupt because I do that, and I wouldn't buy acrylic prints with crazy designs. I don't know who buys that shit. But it has to be what I do. The pen. People give me pens at a show. I pick it up. I'm like, no, you could have it.
Keep it.
I don't want it. Right.
Yep.
The good ones, I can't see the company, but if anyone's there, you could have a plug. You got a great pen. No, but it's got a nice feel. It's got a nice hand, right? You want to do a nice mug. The logo, so key.
It's
Like,
key.
I'm happy to wear somebody's shirt. I recommend people with names, small name, your name small, right? If it's across the top here, you could have a Lululemon shirt. I'm not promoting your company like
Right. I don't want to look like I work for your company. It's
that
different
too.
if you're uniformed at a trade show, but even then, I feel like the things that I love most when you go to a souvenir shop and you take pictures of something to send it to your friend, it's like something that has like a hilarious saying on it or something that just connects with you emotionally. So you feel something when you look at that. And that's when you said something about brand, like that all inclusive thing. It's like your logo is not your brand. It's Unmarketing that said this. Your logo is not your brand. Your brand is what people feel and think about you when they see your logo. And that's what I love so much. I'm like, okay, so what does that say about you? A logo on a polo shirt, to me, just says this company is boring and I don't know who you are, what you do, or anything about you. You don't always have to have like a saying heavy or like saying forward, message forward merch, but I feel like it's just such a better way to connect with people at that level and just share your value system. And then the other thing is, I said nobody cares about your logo. You care about your logo a whole lot. You're starting that company. You're so excited to get your name on your pens and your name on your business cards. And there's something about that. But Nike has built the brand equity. Coca-Cola has built the brand equity. These brands have built the brand equity to be able to put their logo out there and it means something to people. But without having the brand equity, your logo doesn't mean jack to anybody. And I'm thankful to you that you are excited about it. But first, before you throw your logo in my face, you need to make me feel something about your company. And so I call that the greeting card analogy, where you go to like look for a card for somebody's birthday and you don't pick a blank front that you can write your name on as big as possible. It's not charity on the front of the card. You look for a greeting card that has a great design, a nice message, it's aesthetically pleasing, it says something, and then you open it up and there's another message on the inside that's like, that reinforces what was on the front, it reinforces how I feel. And then if you're really extra bougie, you like write an actual sentimental, like, you mean everything to me, you're the world, I'm so happy that we met and we're friends, whatever. And then it's like, love, charity, tiny. That love, charity, like that's your logo on a thing. The rest of it is what you should be hitting people with. The 1-2 punch, the greeting card, your t-shirt, your merch, your everything. And I don't want every single person in the whole wide world to have my pen. I do want them to have a lip balm. If I'm giving something out at a trade show, great. Give everybody a little something, but get people in. Like, I want all of your data. I want your name, your email address, your company name, whatever. I want to qualify you. And then I will raffle off cornhole boards or something cool or some bigger prizes. Or if we have a little conversation, there's a little speakeasy with some merch under the table. And if I really, really like you, I'm going to give you that Yeti tumbler that I just found, kind of thing, hiding in the cool kids corner, because I know that we can have a conversation and you're using that merch as leverage. And people forget that that's the point. It's not to have something to give away that has a big logo on it. It's like, no, this is a relationship builder. This is a gift I give my friend, business partner, prospect, customer, whatever that is, as a token of gratitude. I don't need to blanket the earth with my logo. Like, I could go on forever about it, so I'm going to stop. I digress.
Yeah.
But it's just such
By
a
the way, I would take a Yeti product from anybody who wanted to give it to me. And I would value them because Yeti is what a great product.
right. Yeah, I got to
Anyway,
actually push Hydro Peak. I said Yeti, Hydro Peak
right.
from Bold, but
I'm a fisherman. Everything is Yeti coolers, Yeti tumblers, Yeti everything.
100%. But and that's just it. Those
Yeah.
people have, like, they have built brand equity. So my logo on anything, my logo on a Nike, my logo on a whatever, I instantly have elevation as a brand because I'm working with those. It's not my logo on a 40-cent something that the pen skips, it ends up in the trash can. And it's just a different way of doing business. People have a scarcity mindset, like, I have to give something to everybody or they're not going to remember me. It's like, I'd rather give fewer things to fewer people cause a big stink about it, make it the coolest freaking thing in the whole wide world and put a purpose behind it, and not have everybody be able to get it and want it. So they come back next year, they message me, they reach out, we have a conversation. But I will say, we said, Yeti, something doesn't have to be crazy expensive to be effective. And I think you mentioned, we were talking backstage, Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary V back South by Southwest years and years and years ago, before Instagram, before Facebook was even a thing. He made, I think it was 20,000 or 2,000 pencils. I can't remember exactly. They're bright orange pencils. And he got on YouTube because that was his method of connecting with people back in the day, probably MySpace. I think that's probably when that was.
Right. Yeah.
And
MySpace.
he got on and he said, hey, everybody coming to South by Southwest. I've got a challenge for you. And he was a nobody back then, right? Not a nobody, but not a somebody like he is today.
Right.
And he took those pencils and he said, these pencils are all over South by Southwest. And these pencils are not for writing, they're for fighting. So if you find these pencils and you find me, challenge me to a pencil fight. And he pencil fought people all throughout South by Southwest and filmed the pencil fights and put them on his YouTube channel. And that 4-cent pencil became iconic. I wasn't even there. I just
Priceless.
saw it. And I was like, I have FOMO about not being able to pencil fight Gary V at South by Southwest when I was too young to probably even drive. Like, I wanted it so bad. And it was a freaking orange pencil. I might go on eBay after this and see if there's any still in existence. Or just...
No, and that's just thinking out of the box. Listen, actually, funny enough, I just did a post this morning on him because I've been following him for a bunch of years. And I actually joke sometimes that I'm Gary V Senior because a lot of what he's saying or doing or how he talks is how I've been talking way back when it wasn't okay to talk that way.
Yeah.
Right? All the swearing. Anyway, so I kind of just chuckle. But this morning, the post that I put up was he always says, be yourself, don't fucking apologize, and make things happen. You don't like your job, you're not treated right, get out. So my post this morning was really to the elders of the world, and it doesn't matter what industry. You don't have to like what he says, but you should know who he is and you should know what he says, because the younger folks are listening to him, and some of their thoughts and ideas come from them. And he's not wrong in a lot of stuff. He's actually right. And I was saying the other day, even, or I say it all the time now, I don't like all the labels that people are given. Gen Z, boomer, millennial. Millennials don't like to work. I don't know who comes up with that shit. I know plenty of millennials who love to work. Anyways, I don't even like the tags, because you're creating
separation.
Yeah, for what reason? Good people, hard workers. But we need to know what the young people are thinking and what they're doing. I remember back when, my parents would, say something to me, and I would say to them, well, we don't care what they say or what they're doing in that house. But, you have to know a little bit about what's going on out there.
Yeah.
And if everyone's
absolutely.
listening, because you can't fight it. I want to jump to sustainability, because I've heard that a lot lately. And if I could be completely honest with everybody, like, I'm into putting my garbage in the right garbage bin. I'm not running my life on sustainability. I just pick up after myself, but I'm not looking to change the world. But I hear all these other people who want to change the world, and all these companies that are talking like that. My first thought in promo is, if you're buying cheap shit and giving it out to people, you're not sustainable.
Correct.
And
yep.
Right? And all the people making that cheap shit, they should be listed as not sustainable, because junk is junk.
Junk is junk. And I didn't know where you were going to go. I had no clue you were going to bring this up, but it's one of my favorite topics, because that's just it, right? A cheap pen that doesn't work, even if it's made from recycled plastic, is still a cheap pen that doesn't work. It's just made from recycled plastic. So now you've done crap twice. And so when I think about sustainability, I think I'm excited. I actually will say I am excited that two things are happening in the promotional products industry specifically, but just in business in general. So a lot of these companies that are larger in nature, the Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, they're all adopting ESG policies and making it the awareness that it's building, even if they're just checking the box does something for the environment. So even if that's a byproduct of corporate rigidity, like I guess I'm kind of okay with it. You know, they're requiring us to have an EcoVadis certification, which we're platinum at Bold.
Hang on,
Which is
I would just to keep your thought. The certification that they're asking, what does that cost to the company to have?
oh gosh, thousands of dollars. We have
Okay,
yeah,
hang,
and
hang on, hang on,
processes, yeah.
hang on. Who's charging the thousands of dollars?
Well, so you have the actual like EcoVadis or to become a certified B Corp. Like there are the organizations that have you be a member of SEDEX or EcoVadis or whatever that is, and you have your membership fees. But so much of the cost of it is coming in, and as it again, it costs money to change, but the changes to the processes and the procedures, right? Like if you have solar, if you are now, you know, what are you doing with your remnants, like your reclamation, all of these different processes that you're inputting. The processes themselves might not cost a ton of money, but the implementation of said things do. So, yeah, there's definitely a cost
But
of
what is the and is there an annual audit or an annual fee?
yeah,
Okay.
you're paying annually for that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is someone coming in to do an audit annually?
If you want to renew your certification, then yes, you have to go through the process of
Okay.
reproving
Right. Okay.
you're still in compliance
So
with A, B, and C.
this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going with
Yeah,
this. Okay. In the world of print, and I was FSC certified, PEFC certified, and SFI certified, which was all of the recycling,
right.
tracking,
Sustainable
monitoring, knowing where your
forest, all of
shit
that.
comes from. And that was about 12 grand a year. Okay. This is the problem. The firm that came in to do the audit is like a KPMG or one of those firms, and they're keeping most of that money because of what they charge. So I always wanted to know, where's the money going? With FSC, my problem was that you should be working with the people in the woods because I get paper that comes in a package that's already FSC certified. What are you auditing? How I do it? Or they would say, well, that you don't mix it up with another job. Well, what are you, an idiot? We don't mix them up with other jobs. That's our business, right? So we'd
Yeah,
be paying all this money for what?
yeah,
So I get it. I'm just questioning, because that sustainability has become a whole other multi-billion-dollar business of charging.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
So do you need to have that? Like now, I don't know recently of any companies asking, are you FSC certified? We used to
So
tell
I don't
them,
know
look
about
at the
FSC,
box.
but one of our biggest customers has said that they are trimming their supplier list
Mm-hmm.
based off of sustainability practices. And if you are not EcoVadis and playing on that playground, then they are not going to do business with you. Like you cannot be a preferred supplier in their network if you don't have those certifications, because the companies that they're working with, which are the larger companies of the world, are requiring it, and therefore it's a filter down effect. And again, I agree, like a lot of it's a racket, but some of it, I think, for the companies that actually take it to heart, and this is where I really like, there are companies that are doing good things with it because they have the
Mm-hmm.
ethos and the DNA in their companies that actually really take it to heart and want to do something with it. And that's like Bold, for example. All of our sunglasses are made from post-industrial recycled plastic. So when they're making car headlights, the remnants of those car headlights become our sunglasses, which is kind of cool. And so it has a good sustainability story, but it's also truly sustainable. We have raw wood, we've got bamboo, and really just trying to do better with our manufacturing processes. Of course, our owners are European. So coming from France,
Yeah.
I think obviously the European market has a lot more of that like built in and ingrained into their company DNA, which the US is kind of starting to adopt that for whatever reason. But getting back to the actual products themselves, just what you said, it's like, okay, if a product, regardless of the certification needed to get it to be an environmentally friendly, earth friendlier product, a rose by any other name is still a rose, and crap by any other name is still crap, kind of a thing. And so that comes down to I think a couple different things: is the product itself, will people keep it, will people use it, and when they're done using it, what happens to it? Does it get recycled? Does it go to the landfill? Or can they give it away to be used by somebody else? And that's what I think I really love about higher quality merch, And I really, really press decoration and imprint because, again, going back to a bunch of logos on things, I don't want that. I won't keep it. I won't use it. So I don't think anybody else will either. So if rather than buying the crappy pen because it's 32 cents and by the way, now it's recycled product, like just don't buy the lip balm. Hopefully that's recycled, also recycled plastic. It's functional. It acts as a walking, talking billboard for your brand. And it's something that people are actually going to keep, that are actually going to use until it's gone. T-shirts, water bottles, those types of things, just with thoughtful decoration on them. And that's where I think the disconnect is in print. A lot of times, like from promo to print, is we don't have the graphic artists and the design capability to be able to do what print people do well. But I also think that I can't even say that. I was going to say a lot of the thing is you guys do, a lot of the print people have the artwork capabilities, which makes your products in a lot of cases more meaningful.
No.
That's not even
Yeah,
the
but
key.
sorry,
Like, that's not it.
A lot of printers might have a graphic artist in the place, but a lot don't.
Yeah.
There's Canva that people have learned. There's plenty of graphic artists out there, so that's that shouldn't be an issue for anyone, right? And there's enough trade shops out there. I think just people have to want to do something or try something new. Selling promo when you're in print, the people that don't do it, I think are a little bit, maybe some are nervous or uncertain or thinking that it's a bigger thing, but it's not. And that's why I say you go in and you pick your 10 items that are quality items that most businesses could use if they want to just leave, be able to leave something for someone somewhere with their name on it. And then you can create a menu, you can create a chart, you can do an email blast, you could send them out, you could have your reps draw. Your reps don't even have to do anything. You could have someone on the inside handling it and set it up 1, 2, 3. And then it's just another value added service that you're providing, right? And you're not giving away something for free, because people don't really, I don't think they think about what they're actually doing and what the real value is of some things and what costs them somewhere that they think isn't costing them.
Yeah. One, and let's be real, a lot of people that get into print or promo, mostly promo, I think, but maybe print, I don't want to generalize. But a lot of people get in this industry, like you said, you wanted to get your bag for less. It's a soccer mom industry. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I actually think it's a really big positive. Not everybody wants to be $1 million producer in the promotional products industry. And same thing probably with print. Like, good enough is good enough. Like, yeah, sure, we'd want more money, but at the end of the day, we get what we want. We say what we want, but we get what we really want. And in the promotional products industry, very easy to, I'm going to print this shirt for my kids' soccer team. I can figure out how to also do water bottles, become an at-home sublimator, God forbid, or I use my Cricut, and like that's how they're getting into the industry. And then it's like somebody sees what they did because they were creative and says, oh my gosh, I really love that. Can I get 1 or can I get 12 or can I get 250? And sometimes they find their way into our industry and sometimes they don't find their way into our industry at all. So they're just out here, garage moms, like doing things with their Cricut. And that's totally fine. But the ones that do make it in, I think oftentimes are not phenomenal business people. They don't have drive or ambition to become, bigger shops or expand their business or, work these networking relationships or whatever. And at the end of the day, depending on how you're running your business, if you have a laptop and a dream and a Sage subscription, $600 a year, like you said, ASI is $900, like whatever that is, like
Whatever
a laptop and internet connection, a cell phone, and a Sage subscription. If you're writing $250,000 in sales, you're taking home $85,000 a year. That's a great salary for a soccer mom working
60 or 65, right? It's extra cash,
right? Like so I think some of that is like getting back to even the sustainability play is there's no real incentive for me to be super hyper fixated on doing anything other than putting a logo on a thing, because at the end of the day, 90% of people don't care, and you can't make somebody care. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And I can still sell $250,000, $500,000 worth of business in 20 hours a week, selling a thing with a logo on it to a person who needs a giveaway for a trade show that is not going to change their mindset about what that promotional product is going to do for them or their brand. They just need something to give away. And that's beautiful, and it's a shame at the same time. Like, I see both sides of that teeter-totter where it's really cool that can happen, but man, it would be cool if you really cared about your brand, because it's just 1 or 2 little tweaks that could really make a difference between, is somebody going to want that product, is somebody going to keep that product, And is somebody going to think more favorably about your brand because of that product? But there you go.
And you're not, and you don't have to spend that much more money,
No, not at all. For
right?
people to keep it out of a trash can. And that's the biggest incentive for me as a business owner. And I think anybody working for any company that's ordering merch should really think about this is dollar for dollar out of your budget. Do you want to see that dollar get into somebody's home, or do you want to see that dollar in somebody's trash can? And if you're not picking quality merch, nobody wants to see their logo in a trash can at all, I hope. But that's where you're just putting it, like save the money and just, burn the dollar at that point in time.
Yeah, and if you're into sustainability and someone hands you something that you think is cheap and not worth it, just tell them, sorry, not sustainable, cheap and not worth it. So actually in promo with these associations, I'll use ASI. One thing, and I chatted with somebody there, but one thing I didn't like about them as a printer going in was I joined as a membership, but they don't stop trying to oversell their services of this, that, and the other thing. And if you're just getting into promo, you already probably don't have enough time, maybe even a human resource in your place to do the basics. And then when they start hounding you with, and it's all nice, they call you in the customer service and blah, blah, but it's a hounding.
Yeah.
Right? I was saying they should got to step it back, and for the print industry, maybe come up with a separate plan or steps on how to people come in. And then not everybody wants to go to step 2. Don't push it. Like we said, some people want to sell 250 and they're good, they make their money. Others aspire to sell 1 million. So I get they have a business, but like as I talk on the print side, like don't bug us.
Yeah.
Don't
Well, and
shove
I
your shit
think,
down our throat.
that's going to work for some people. It's not going to work for others. The one thing that I can say is that both organizations have evolved a tremendous amount, even in the last number of years since I've been part of them. And what I really like is the leadership on both sides is changing. They're definitely listening to more voices that are in their quote unquote constituency, like listening to the community more, bringing in more community involvement, starting to try to build a brand and reputation. And I know like ASI, obviously with Printing United, they have that whole kind of cooperative collaboration that they're working on right now too. And I have had some really good conversations with them about what does that look like and how are we being represented on the show floor, and what does that look like moving forward and how to really have these conversations. And I think this year I'm incredibly excited for a couple of reasons. One, because I've forced myself through their door a little bit. I'm like, you will listen to me. I'm telling you, we'll see what happens. I don't know. But there's been some leadership changes and, newer, different coming in on the PPAI side. We hired a new president for PPAI that actually came from MPI. He was meeting planners instead of being in the industry. So it's super unique to just see, again, the changing of the guard, which is a really good thing for fresh perspectives and for the evolution of the industry and all of the things that we've experienced before. That experience is now like worked into the fabric of what they're building these new moving the organizations forward with. But at the same time, it is kind of interesting, and I haven't talked about this on a podcast yet, but 25 years in the industry, and I'm coming into the place of like, I'm considering probably the prime of my career where for the next whatever years, 15 years I've got left working. But all of the leadership that had gone before me, you've got good rapport with them. You've built a long-standing relationship with them. You've learned a lot from them. And then they're retiring and moving on to their next thing. And all of this generation is kind of stepping into those roles. So it's like reestablishing your domain in a sense, reestablishing your networking connections. There's a lot of just tumultuous change happening with both organizations right now on the promotional product side of things. And there's an expansion through GSM and some of the other global organizations to move and expand that footprint globally, which is really cool from a marketing and sales perspective, I hope, because I do think that Europeans do it differently, both from a product standpoint, from a sustainability standpoint, from a design aspect and imprint and decoration standpoint. We have a lot to teach them about just, business at quantity and printing and decoration and networks and equipment and all this other stuff, whatever. So really cool thing happening now forward that the last couple of years, I feel like 2 years maybe in stasis. And this is like a really big turning point for, I think, both industries, especially because they're trying to really bridge that gap between the two of us, but also the way that things are changing with leadership, changing with global expansion, changing with capabilities and mindset. I really think mindset we talked about that even just off camera, and it's huge. And like the right mindset can change everything. And I really see that coming the next like 24 to 36 months.
It's all about mindset. And I mean, listen, the printing industry, both industries are old. The printing industry is pretty old, goes back to way before. And the printing industry is extremely slow to change. I guess some people do what they do. They get stuck in their ways. They don't want to change. But that's where the young people, we come back to the young people coming in, right? Too many print companies, why do they do it the way they do it? Because that's the way they've always done it. And some are open to learning new ways and to trying things, and others are not. But I think any business that doesn't want to learn, change, grow, the writing's on the wall eventually where they're headed, because you got to be proactive today. You got to be proactive today with your staff. You got to be proactive today with your culture. You got to be proactive today with your clients. There is no more just sitting around and waiting.
Yeah. Well, let's not even talk about bringing AI into it. And like, that's the other game changing part of it too. It's like, it's almost so I can understand why people get comfortable, especially now that I'm getting older. It was different when I was 30 and 35 was young and dumb and naive, and I didn't understand what was coming my way. I'm like, it's easy to slow down and get tired, and also to feel like we have been pumping the gas for so many years, pedal to the metal, trying to just go and innovate and change and drive business forward. And there's a point where it's like, okay, some days I do get really tired. I don't want to learn a new trick today, Grandma. I don't want to have to figure out AI. I don't want to have to learn the difference between agentic AI and, how do I whip up a server and what's the difference between Cloud AI and Cloud agents, and oh my gosh, prompting is the whole thing and all of it. And then it's like, should I be using Higgsfield? Should I be using Gemini? And then it's like, okay, but what are you really doing for your whole life? I'm like, oh, I'm just printing a t-shirt. It's like all of this stuff that goes in. And so part of it is I understand there is a beauty in simplicity in this industry where we don't have to adapt as quickly and it is less hamster wheel. But it is 100% true that the younger generation coming in, they do think differently. They communicate differently. They don't know an age without having a cell phone in their hand.
Well, on that, I was just going to say, actually, I hear people and oh, those kids, and they don't know, and they're doing it wrong. And you just nailed it. They know this their whole life. What we know, the transition between me and my parents and my grandparents, different ball game today. So they don't know that we use the fax machine.
Right.
They know only this, but they also know how to use this a little better than we do.
Right. And they and it changes, not even like you said, you putting people in a box, right? It's not even demographically between young or old or whatever. It also changes East Coast to West Coast, the geopolitical climate, socioeconomically. My sister and her daughter didn't have a phone until she was 16. My daughter's had a phone since she was 9. And you're 100% kicking your daughter in the shin by not having that technology at that young age, because you're really, that's a job skill now, being able to use that technology. And my son in college using AI, and I'm like, okay, but how are you using AI? I'm like, I'm not even opposed to you using AI, because I believe when you get out of school, that's going to be an actual valuable skill. It is part of your college experience, because really as adults, all we are really good at is being super efficient Googlers. Yeah, let me figure that out for you. It's just Google, figure out how to do it, and then actual application or watch a YouTube video. So I think there's definitely something to be said about the way technology is changing things, but the way that youth perceive situations, the bias that we have towards everything because of the time frame that we grew up and all of that. They don't have some of that bias. They don't have that experience. And some of it is, no, they have no clue. But I'm like, yeah, they're young, dumb, and foolish, and they don't have any bias. They don't have the results of what was done before. So maybe now that it's 2026, they can just go balls to the wall and try it. And maybe it will work out for them, because the different variables lead to different results. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just fun. It's experimental. A lot of people have a lot of fear based in their business, and I don't have any fear. I've lived my worst case scenario, grew up homeless, lived in hotels. My worst case scenario at the end of the day is none of this works out well. You know what? I'm going to live in my car down by the river and it will be all gravy to me. But so many people's inability to let people try. And so I think if I had to give people one piece of advice about the new generation coming in, it's like, let them try. You know, as long as it's not going to tank your business, as long as they're not a PR liability, let them freaking try.
Well,
What happens?
they're also, listen, it's how are they going to gain experience if they don't make mistakes, they don't try, they don't learn, right? I joke to people and say, yeah, I dropped out of university, but I've got millions and millions of dollars of learning and mistakes that I can go teach an MBA course on certain things that you're not going to get, feel, or even know, right?
Right.
The way it is. AI, I want to remind everybody, AI is a tool. I hear too many people talking like it's the end all of the end all, and they put in something and they copy paste. You don't copy paste, you still have to read it. If you know what you're doing and you use it, it'll make you smarter. If you use it and don't know what you're doing, you still won't know what you're doing.
100%. 100%. I just had this conversation with Jay Bissay yesterday. We were talking about how much it turns, and like we were talking about perception of like when we see something that is blatantly AI, what is the like visceral reaction that we have? And he's more empathetic about it. He's like, if people are using it, they didn't have this tool before. Now they can use it. They can create a flyer when they couldn't create a flyer before. And so it's good for that to be out there. And I'm like, I completely see that. Like, if that's not your job, but like at the same point, if it's not your job, should you be doing it? But if it's helping you get something out there, fine. But for me, I'm like, I see very well educated people that I respect that I know have a lot to say, and they're creating and copying and pasting AI formatting, M dashes, logic, reasoning, whatever. And I'm like, I wouldn't judge AI so harshly when I see it on LinkedIn or anywhere else if I could see the prompt that was put into the AI to generate that output. Because I want to know what logic and what thoughts you had prompting that beforehand. And that's just where my analytical brain goes to like, what did you know before? But the eventuality of it is I use social media to create community and spark conversation. And if you're posting about something on social media and then I go to ask you about that afterwards, you better dang well be able to defend your position, have an intelligent conversation, be
Know
thoughtful
about
about
it,
your responses
understand
back
what
to me,
you wrote.
know and yeah, it's not just like regurgitated keynote because you like typed 3 sentences into your Gemini or to your Claude and it pushed out this thing and then you were able to like put a teleprompter up and yap at the camera and then I'm like, hey, tell me a little bit more about neurodivergence and this, that, and the other thing. And they're like, oh, well, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's the hard part that I have with AI is that people are so dependent on it. They're putting on a show and then you go to have a conversation and there's no depth. And that's what I really would love to, again, like just as you're using it in your business to go forward, like just know what you're talking about and like use it to educate yourself and then educate others as well. But like, man, I love AI. I also go both ways because I'm like, I love people more than
Well, you,
anything.
you also don't have to know everything about AI. Like I have friends that are telling me use Claude and you can code this and you could do that, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to code. I don't care.
I don't want to. Yeah.
Right? If I need something, I'm going to go to someone who does that, and I'm going to ask them to do it for me.
Yeah.
Because even with AI, and I'm loving AI. I'm using it for all kinds of different things, and it saves a lot of time, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, and to that point, so I guess my last point, I know we've been yapping, but the other thing I'll say is as it pertains specifically to AI, sorry about that. And just going back to being human, this is my number one thing. We haven't talked about it a ton, but like my biggest thing is being human.
Absolutely.
Whether it's in AI, whether it's in business, like, okay, younger generations coming up, like just be a normal human and talk with them, train them, educate them, mentor them, listen to them and let them mentor you back because their skills and things that they have done and even in their limited experience there's something we can learn from them. Like the most human company wins, I think always. Obviously we're building relationships and you could put two AI on this podcast, it'd be different because you can't meet us at the Printing United trade show and have coffee with us in September. Or if we were AI, you can because we're here, because we're real, because we're people. And also, I think the other thing that you've brought up a couple of different times too, and I brought up as well, is time. And life is short. You've got to have fun. You've got to spend the time doing the things, even like Gary Vee said, like if you don't want to do it, then don't. If you're at a job that's making you miserable, then leave. Chris Brogan said the same thing back when we were on Periscope way back in the day. One of the things that he said, and it stuck with me, is like, if you don't like the book, stop reading it. If you don't like the movie, walk out of the movie theater. Like, it is your life, and you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to whatever. Just because you started it doesn't mean that you have to finish it. If it's not serving you, then stop. The thing I'll say is AI, if you're using it, systems and processes, automations, whatever it is, if it is freeing up more time, what are you doing with that time? And if you are a marketer, this is big in my world, I'm a marketer, and I realize that time is limited. And I try to do everything that I do, whether it be merch, whether it be an email, whether it be a podcast, whether it be a social media, anything, a meetup, an event, whatever. I want to make things worth people's moments. Like anything that, if I'm picking up the phone call, like you mentioned, hey, Asai, like if I'm picking up the phone call to hound you to buy something from me, it's because I believe that my product or my service is worth your moment. And so my caution would be, like, as people are using AI or whatever you're doing, to one, strive to make everything worth somebody's moment. But two, as time is getting freed up because we're getting more efficient with our systems and processes, be very, very cognizant of how you fill your time. And I didn't learn until too late. And I needed to be the hustler when I was hustling back in the day. But like now I'm like, okay, you're a luxury travel agent. Yes, I am. You're working with a NASCAR team through a whiskey company. Yes, I am. And that's what I work weekends and I love it. Every single minute of it. I'm on the racetrack 36 weeks a year, you know, not every week during the season, 37 weeks, but like I'm out there. Like, yes, I am. I'm doing things that I absolutely love. And the time that AI saves me and the time that automations and Zapier and my assistants and everybody else saves me, I am investing that time in ways that work for things that I want to remember at the end of my life for the rest of my life. So that's, I don't want to get like super prophetic and deep and whatever, but like, that's it. Like, if you are having all of this time freed up from all of these things, like, just use your time in a way that makes sense for something you can be proud of when it's over.
Yeah, no, you know what? I kind of we're gonna end it on that one because I kind of love it. I love to listen to the kids, and the kids are our future. And you know, we have to help them, we have to mentor them, you know, and teach them a little. And we have to remember that they're gonna learn on their own. Listen, when my parents used to say something to me, you know, oh yeah, you think you know it all. And then when my kids are saying things to me, I'm like, oh my God, it's payback. I said that to my parents,
Yeah,
right? Everything goes around, comes around. So
100%. I love learning from my kids. They're hilarious,
yeah, no, we all have
unhinged.
we all have to, right? I
Yeah,
love hanging
you
out
do.
with them, hanging out with their friends from when they were little to now, because now they're young adults, and you know they say, oh, you know, you remember that? Yeah, we should have listened. And I'm like, okay, good, they are listening.
They are
So
listening. It just
it's
takes them to get to they've never been that old before and they've never had that experience yet. And then they finally have it. You can't teach in advance of the actual.
no, and we have to lower our expectations sometimes of, you know, the timing and what we want and all the other stuff. But we're gonna end with the last thing you said about, you know, our time working smart. I say this all the time. So one thing I know that I've learned from the kids, and I say kids, anyone who's younger than me as a kid,
Even people who are
is when I started working, it was like I was working 6 days a week. I wasn't getting paid for Saturday. My boss used to say to me, "You got to pay your dues." Today, I say, "Who the fuck came up with that line? You got to pay your dues." Kids have taught us we shouldn't be working 6 and 7 days a week. We're on this planet for a short time. We got to make it the best time. We got to work and do what we need because we want to earn that, you know, the money to go do some other things. Everything does cost money. But if you're spending all your time working and worrying and not getting to do those things, you're not better off,
Yeah.
right? And if you burn your people and you push them and you push them, you're really just hurting yourself because they can't operate effectively and efficiently if they're not feeling really good, rested, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Listen to I love when one of the things speaking about the kids, I love when they're like heard. It's like preach, right? It's like, okay, like I love that they a lot of the younger generation really thrives on being listened to, being heard, and you know they're quick to listen to us too. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how we got on the tangent of generational anything, but I'm here for it. I love it. I think cross industry, there's so much to learn from other people. Cross generationally, there's so much to learn from other people. So I think my biggest takeaway from this time together is just keep your ears open, keep your mind open, and listen and learn
And be kind to everybody
and be kind. Yeah.
because it doesn't take any more energy to be kind than not be kind.
100%. And you never know
Cool.
what kind of impact you're having, for sure.
No, and you know what? And if you make impact on one person that comes back later on and tells you, reminds you, then you know it was worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, everyone things moving at warp speed. Wow. Anyway, great conversation today. Super, super thank you. Appreciate your time for coming on. I think we're definitely going to have another one because we could have talked all day even before we got on the live podcast. Everybody else, I hope you appreciated the conversation. As always, if you know anyone that you think should be talking about something, let me know. If you want to talk about something, let me know. If you don't want to be live, but you want to talk to me because you want me to know, just reach out. I'm happy to talk to you. Otherwise, I appreciate everybody who listens all the time. Charity, any last word before we go?
No, I think that's it. I guess my last thing would be, we're always told as kids not to talk to strangers, but I didn't know you before this phone call. And, aside from being the Printing United All-Stars group, and love that connection. So just thanks for being you, and keep talking to strangers, kids.
Thank you. No, young kids don't talk to strangers.
Not young kids, no.
Older,
adult
when you get a
kids.
little older, you could talk to strangers.
It's called networking, right? But yeah.
All right. Everybody awesome. See
Reach
you
out.
on the next one. Cheers.